Now we're going to share with you a concept called spinning or churning. It's one of the pivotal cornerstones of compression planning. If there's anything I would encourage you to really focus on, it would be this skill. And it works all the way through the master model. It works all the way through every part of compression planning. And if you look in your blueprint on page 73, you can follow along with me and make some notes. And as you see here, it's the art of developing raw thoughts into rich ideas which can be acted upon. And I'm going to warn you before I get into this, this whole area will drive you nuts because you'll get so frustrated listening to the vague talk that goes on in groups that you can't act on. So let me give some examples. Over here, going back to the sandcastle model, and I'm just going to pick one. Create a 1/4 mile lazy river for tubes. And I wrote in those, so I know what it's like. But a group will come up with, people in groups will come up with something like, well, do something interesting, or do something involving the water. Something that when you think about it, what can you really act on? And so the act of spinning is say, what can we do with that? Can we build on that? Can we work that idea a bit? And you want to massage it along till it gets formulated enough that you can actually do a prototype of it. You could assign it to somebody, and you can say that's a low cost, medium cost, or high cost idea. Now you don't ask those questions in the group, but as the leader of it, you're probing within your own mind, is this thing that is being put on the table for people to consider, is it congealed enough? Let me take another one. Build the tallest slide in the country, 12 stories high. Now, if somebody put an idea out like, build a high slide, you go, well, it sounds good, but how can we make that better? How can we take it from something big? What would it be? And when the person came along and said, make it 12 stories high, all of a sudden you had something that you could assign it to somebody, you could prototype it, you could say that's a low cost, medium cost, or high cost idea. If you had generalized knowledge of this field, it could be 8 stories, it could be 14 stories, but instead of being vague, like have a big slide or a giant slide, the specificity is what comes out of spinning and churning, and then you can make decisions, you can adjust off of it. And I would just encourage you, as you get more and more into compression planning, to take this skill and work it. Work it from constantly listening to vague generalities, principles, and saying to yourself, how can we make that actionable? What can we do with that? Let me take one more. One more over here. Okay, install a slide which is 1 block long. And frequently you'll get descriptions in group or you'll get ideas. There'll be one word, long. What is long? What are you talking about when when the discussion is around build a slide? Let's have long slides. No, let's build one that's 1 block long. At that point, once again, you can prototype it, you can assign it, and you can massage off of it. You can work from an idea like that. But something like just make a long one, you can't go anywhere with that. When you're leading a compression planning session, a trick that can help you when the discussion is vague, it's going all over the place, is just say to the person who's talking at that moment, put it in terms like I feel, I think, I believe, I'd like to. And frequently what will happen is that leads to the verb. I've even put that up on the board as a cue. I think, I believe, I feel, I'd like to. And from there, the only place you can really go is into an action idea. Another trick we've discovered in the last year, Pat came up with this. When you have 1 to 3 words on a card, frequently it's so mushy you can't do anything with it. 8 to 10 words on a card tends to give you something that is unique and specific and fits the criteria of churning. So when you look at the boards that you're developing, the storyboards, if it's filled with lots of 1, 2, 3 word things, I guarantee you, you're not into a churning mode. But when there's 8, 9, 10, 12 words, it tends to be richer, tighter, and something you can really act on.